Alright, it's Head Coach Ross with the Tax Gym, getting right to it. A lot of you guys have asked us about a movement skill that I've noticed a lot of people are doing improperly. It's well executed for the mat, but it's not done in real life. The movement skill we're talking about is more popularly known among wrestlers and grapplers as the Granby roll. Of course, this technique is thousands of years older than Granby and Europe. You know, it's part of the Harakati movement. The Harakati Ujuzi, which is the movement skills that are part of our discipline. And I'm going to show you some important differences in real-world applications. The sporting part is great, has a lot of wonderful, terrific applications. I have great respect for them and their teachings, but most of the time it's applied on the mat and on the ground. Okay? On the mat and on the ground. And when it is applied standing, is usually in response to a slam. You know, they have the their toe touch the ground, each touch the ground, and their roll, etc., so on and so forth. In real life, what happens is you'll be wearing your keys, you'll have your cell phone. If you wear glasses like me, you'll have your glasses on a lot of the times, and a situation will happen where you have to roll anyway. So you can get a surprise attack, you can be missing a strike, transitions, whatever, move on the guy, we're not shifting with them, whatever you're doing, if you miss on a shoot attack, bam, and you want to be having to roll from here, you know, or you wind up having to roll lower. The key is that whatever the roll is that you're doing, whatever the situation that requires you to do your roll, the Harakati, you have to roll, not let your head touch, shifting, transitioning through, not letting your head touch, and do not come down on your knees like they teach you in wrestling. You have to come up to your fighting positions. This again is where knowing our positions and being able to kick from these positions, being able to, even from low, being able to strike, and being able to transition and use our movement, whatever the movements are. This is what makes all the difference in real life. All right? With your hood and everything. You have to be able to apply everything that you know right now, whether you're on the grass or on the concrete. You still have to do it in such a way, sidewalk, Eastside Long Beach, it's King Park, California, that's how we do it. You still have to apply the rolls, like your head does not touch, you're striking whatever, knees, elbows, palms, whatever is going on. You see the opportunity to attack, or you've been driven, hit, and tackled, where you have to, let me step back and stay on the concrete, where you have to now roll. Coming on the outside, hands up, protection, hands not touching the ground, arms touch, the roll, come up. You even have to deal, there are times when your feet, let me turn this way so the camera can see it, sometimes when your feet will touch the concrete, and you have different levels of ground here that you have to keep your balance in, which again shows the genius of the positioning and the movements, because that's what happens in real life. Those are the kind of things you need to use as your base. In addition, you want to insert strikes to this position, okay? So, when you're rolling, I'm going to do it right here to make the point. When you've been driven and you have to roll across your shoulders, there's opportunities to kick, opportunities to kick, to punch, come up to your feet. And if you have a weapon, this is the point where you draw an attack with your weapon. By that I mean, let's say you have a nice, safe, YouTube censorship-loving wooden knife, okay? Okay, and you're carrying this humongous, gigantic wooden piece with you, and you wind up having to roll. Situation goes on, scrapping, what have you, you wind up having to roll. So here you go, I'm gonna go right side because the camera's there, but you have to go right and left, doesn't matter, all right? So you're gonna wind up having to roll, arms shooting through, legs and breath shooting forward, shoulders here, coming across. See how my right hand's coming back, drawing the weapon already, up to your feet, striking here, blocking, striking here. This is where the kicks, you know, movements, boom, positions, make all the difference, blocking, transitioning here, shooting here, across, all right? Okay, this is the type of thing I'm telling you, and I teach all the time in my instructionals, on my website, okay? Go pick up our instructionals, the introduction to the basic Gayu mountain poses, and the skill sets applied to here, which you'll see. a much more comprehensive fashion in my instructions. These are the type of things I teach you in class all the time. And there are colossal differences between sport and self-defense. Again, no disrespect to anybody doing sport. We're just saying that we include everything they do and the many other variants that happen in real life. That modern times and also from thousands of years ago when our African ancestors created this discipline in Africa, long before it got to Brazil, in Southeast Asia, long before it got to Brazil, and furthermore, continue to evolve it in the Americas, not just Brazil. All right? Any questions or comments, please remember to show us that those slices of love, that e-pimping, all right? Slices is SLCS. Why? Because YouTube really operates on watch time. That's the E, you know, E is eyes. Subscriptions, that's the S. Likes, L. C, comments, S, and shares. So we really need that so we can continue to provide you with revolutionary cutting edge material for free. All right, so please, when you see this on YouTube, subscribe, send out to you, and support us on the social media multi-channels. All right, thank you for your time. It's Head Coach Ross. Have a great day.